42.9 billion yuan, nearly 500,000 residents, a city covering more than 460 km². These numbers sound like a thriving metropolis on a coastline or in a fertile plain. But no, all of this lies on the edge of a barren desert in northwest China. Just a few decades ago, this place was almost uninhabitable. Sand-laden winds blew year-round, rainfall was scarce, and summer temperatures often exceeded 40 degrees Celsius. There were no forests, no major rivers, and almost no reason for a city to exist. Yet today, in a land that once held nothing but sand, wide boulevards, modern residential areas, and green parks have emerged. This is Shihezi, once considered a dead land, now a green city with 500,000 residents. So what transformed a desert into a city? Let's explore this remarkable story with Terran Works. Shihezi is located in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region in northwest China, right on the edge of the Gerbuntungut Desert, the second largest desert in the country. For most of history, this area was considered one of the harshest places to build a city. The average annual rainfall is only about 150 to 200 millimeters, far lower than in many dry regions of the United States, such as Arizona or Nevada. Summers can exceed 40 degrees Celsius, winters are bitterly cold, and desert winds blow sand across the land almost year-round. Because of these harsh conditions, for centuries the region consisted only of small settlements and scattered agricultural oases. Life depended almost entirely on water from rivers originating in the Tian Shan Mountains, hundreds of kilometers away. There were no large irrigation systems, no infrastructure, and no clear reason for a major city to emerge here. However, a turning point came in the mid-20th century. In 1954, China launched an ambitious project to transform this arid land into a new agricultural and urban center. The mission was assigned to the Xinjiang Production and Construction Corps, a unique organization that combined economic development with paramilitary functions, tasked with building the first settlements and reclaiming the desert land. When the pioneers first arrived, they faced a harsh reality: constant sand-laden winds, limited water supplies, and almost no infrastructure. Yet from this land that once seemed impossible to inhabit, a bold project began. The project of turning a desert into a city. However, turning a barren desert into a real city is not something that can be accomplished in just a few years. It is a process that takes decades, requiring a combination of scientific planning, engineering technology, and large-scale infrastructure projects. And the first step, also the most important one, is surveying and planning the land. Before any construction could begin, engineers and urban planners had to survey the entire region. This task was particularly complex because deserts are very different from ordinary land. At the edge of the Gerbuntungut Desert, the surface sand layer can be 10 to 30 meters thick and constantly shifts with the wind. Because of this, identifying stable ground was a critical factor. Engineers carried out geological drilling at multiple locations, measuring the thickness of the sand layers and identifying areas solid enough for construction. At the same time, water resources were carefully studied. Scientists analyzed the river systems originating from the Tian Shan Mountains, where melting snow and glaciers supply billions of cubic meters of water each year. From this, engineers calculated the canal networks and reservoirs needed to bring water to the construction area. Based on geological, hydrological, and climate data, planners designed an entirely new city, including agricultural zones, residential districts, industrial areas, and major transportation corridors. Wide boulevards, 40 to 60 meters across, were laid out alongside irrigation canals to support both daily life and agricultural production. After identifying stable ground and completing the urban master plan, the next step, and arguably the most critical one, was bringing water to the desert. If there is one factor that determines the existence of Shihezi, it is water. The main water source comes from river systems originating in the Tian Shan Mountains, where melting snow and glaciers supply enormous amounts of water each year to the northern Xinjiang plains. To control and store this resource, engineers built large reservoirs, the most important of which is the Kenswat Reservoir, located about 70 kilometers from Shihezi. This reservoir has a capacity of around 188 million cubic meters of water, equivalent to nearly 75,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools, and serves as the central hub of the region's entire irrigation system. From here, water is distributed through a network of canals, pumping stations, and irrigation systems stretching for dozens of kilometers, carrying water from the foothills of the Tian Shan to farmland and residential areas. The Kenswat Reservoir serves more than just one purpose. It performs three critical functions: controlling floods from mountain rivers, supplying irrigation water for agriculture, and supporting electricity generation. Once water had been brought to the desert, the next challenge was turning sand into farmland. Soil at the edge of the desert is typically poor in nutrients, contains high levels of salt, and can barely retain moisture, conditions that make it extremely difficult for crops to grow. To overcome this, agronomists and engineers began a large-scale land reclamation process. They added organic fertilizers and soil conditioners while also building salt leaching systems to reduce the accumulation of salts in the soil layers. At the same time, modern irrigation systems were introduced, especially drip irrigation, which delivers water directly to plant roots and reduces water loss in the arid environment. Thanks to these techniques, the sandy land gradually began to change. Within just a few decades, tens of thousands of hectares of farmland had been established around Shihezi. The region quickly became one of China's major cotton-producing areas, with yields reaching more than 1,500 kilograms of cotton fiber per hectare. The growth of agriculture not only provided food and raw materials for processing industries, but also attracted tens of thousands of workers to live and work in the area. Green fields began appearing in the middle of the desert, forming the first economic foundation for the creation and expansion of the city. As agriculture gradually stabilized and the population began to grow, the next step was to build a complete urban infrastructure system. A city cannot exist with farmland and irrigation canals alone. It needs roads, electricity, clean water, and public services to support everyday life. Boulevards ranging from 40 to 60 meters wide were constructed, forming a transportation network that connects the city center with the surrounding agricultural and industrial areas. At the same time, systems for electricity, water supply, gas, and wastewater treatment were developed in a coordinated manner. Water from reservoirs and canals is treated at water plants before being distributed to residential areas, while wastewater treatment facilities allow part of the water to be reused for agriculture. Alongside the technical infrastructure, residential areas also began to develop. New housing districts were built together with schools, hospitals, and shopping centers, creating a complete living environment for residents. Industrial zones were also planned near major transport routes to support manufacturing and the movement of goods. Thanks to this well-planned infrastructure system, Shihezi gradually transformed from an agricultural settlement into a modern city, where people can live, work, and build an economy in what was once desert land. Today, if viewed from above, it is hard to believe that a place once defined by nothing but sand and wind has become a large city on the edge of the desert. After decades of development, Shihezi is no longer a small agricultural settlement, but a fully developed urban center. The city now covers an area of about 460 kilometers, nearly comparable to the size of Chicago, if considering only its central urban area, with nearly 500,000 people living and working there. The urban system includes residential districts, industrial zones, universities, and a modern transportation network that connects the city with the entire northern Xinjiang region. Economically, the city's total output reaches about 42.9 billion yuan per year, equivalent to nearly 6 billion USD, making Shihezi a mid-sized city with an important economic role in the region. Its economy is built on a combination of large-scale agriculture, processing industries, and urban services. What is remarkable is that this entire urban scale was created in just a few decades on land that was once considered almost impossible to inhabit. From a remote desert landscape, Shihezi has grown into a modern economic and urban center, demonstrating humanity's ability to completely transform even the harshest environments. Did you know that right on the edge of a barren desert, China has not only built a city but also grown grapes and produced wine? After the water systems, agriculture, and urban infrastructure gradually stabilized, Shihezi began developing an entirely new economic sector, the wine industry. The city lies near latitude 44 degrees north, roughly comparable to the latitude of France's Bordeaux region. The area receives around 2,800 to 3,000 hours of sunshine each year, with low humidity and large temperature differences between day and night, conditions that are ideal for growing wine grapes. Thanks to irrigation systems that bring water from the Tian Shan Mountains, vineyards can grow reliably even in this arid environment. Water is delivered through drip irrigation technology, which saves about 30 to 50% of water while allowing precise control over grape quality. Today, the area around Shihezi is home to many large vineyards and wineries. Some wine cellars have the capacity to store hundreds or even thousands of tons of wine, with thousands of oak barrels used for aging. Wine prices here typically range from about 10 to 40 USD per bottle, much lower than in many famous wine regions in Europe. On the international market, Chinese wine is still developing, but the country is already among the world's top 10 wine-producing nations. As a result, Shihezi is gradually emerging as a new wine center in China. The story of turning deserts into cities is not unique to China. About 4,000 kilometers west of Shihezi, in the Middle East, there is another city built amid scorching sands and a harsh climate. That city is Dubai, often considered the world's most famous desert city, located on the edge of the Arabian Desert, one of the largest deserts on Earth, with an area of about 2.3 million kilometers squares. Just a few decades ago, Dubai was still a small town on the Persian Gulf, where the economy relied mainly on fishing and pearl trading. But starting in the 1970s, when oil resources began to be developed, the city started to grow at an extraordinarily rapid pace. Today, Dubai has more than 3.5 million residents, welcomes around 17 million tourists each year, and has become a major financial, commercial, and tourism hub in the Middle East. The city is home to many globally iconic structures, most notably Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, standing at 828 meters. Dubai is also famous for massive construction projects built between desert and sea, such as the artificial archipelago Palm Jumeirah, which was created using more than 100 million cubic meters of sand and rock. From a barren stretch of the Arabian Desert, Dubai has risen to become a global symbol of modern desert cities. The story of building cities in the middle of deserts is not limited to China or the Middle East. In the western United States, right in the middle of the arid desert landscape of Nevada, there is another globally famous city, Las Vegas. The city lies within the Mojave Desert, one of the harshest desert regions in North America, where the average annual rainfall is only about 100 millimeters, and summer temperatures often exceed 40 degrees Celsius. For much of its history, this area was merely a small stopover along routes crossing the desert. A major turning point came in the 1930s with the construction of the Hoover Dam on the Colorado River. This massive project not only provided electricity, but also created Lake Mead, a crucial water source that allowed Las Vegas to grow despite its extremely dry environment. Today, the Las Vegas metropolitan area is home to more than 2 million residents and welcomes over 40 million visitors each year. The city is famous for the Las Vegas Strip, a roughly 6.8-kilometer stretch filled with some of the world's largest hotels, casinos, and entertainment complexes. From a simple stop in the Mojave Desert, Las Vegas has grown into a global center of tourism and entertainment, proof that even in the harshest desert environments, major cities can emerge and thrive. From Shihezi in China to Dubai in the Middle East and Las Vegas in the United States, cities built in the middle of deserts are proving that even the driest lands on the planet can become modern economic and urban centers. What was once considered impossible turning sand and wind into places where people can live has now become reality, thanks to planning, technology, and massive infrastructure projects. In your opinion, where might be the next place humans transform from desert into a city? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and follow Terran Works to explore more remarkable projects and engineering achievements from around the world.